Who is your customer? If you're thinking right now, everyone, if that's your answer, I want everybody to come to my business. Well, then you don't have a customer. You don't know who your customer is. In today's episode, we are going to nail down who your ideal customer is and why it's important, probably the most important thing you can do for your business. Hello and welcome to the Content Box, your out-of-the-box full-service marketing solution. I'm Matt Tompkins, and I'm here with Tracy Winkler of Two Brothers Creative.
Hey, everyone.
Today, we're talking about your ideal customer. Who is your customer? I've often asked people this question. I say, who's your target customer? Who's your target audience? Who's your ideal customer? Or in marketing terms, we call it your buyer persona. Like, who is your customer? And the answer often is, well, everyone.
Yep.
I want everyone to come to my business. I'm not going to deny anybody. I'm not going to just narrow it down. The crazy thing is, the more specific you get, the more you niche down, the wider the audience you actually reach.
Absolutely. Because you're very clear in the messaging and who you're attracting and what they're wanting, what they're needing, what their aspirations are, and what they fear.
So let's start with, how did we get here, right?
Yep.
How did you get here to a point where it just feels like you're lost? It feels like you're kind of just floating around and you're like, I don't know how to grow this business. You're throwing things up on the wall. It's like throwing spaghetti up on the wall and you're seeing what sticks.
Yep.
You're putting stuff out on different social media channels. Some things are working, some things aren't. You get a bunch of views, but you're not getting new customers or the people who are coming to your website. Maybe, and this has happened a lot with clients where they're getting a lot of traffic, but they're not getting the traffic they need.
Yes. And less is more. It's like, basically, you don't want to go a mile wide and an inch deep. You really want to take the time to know who you're talking to.
Yeah,
right?
And it's a difficult process, right? So oftentimes the way we get here is it's our ego gets in the way. It's our stubbornness because we don't want to niche down. We don't want to be specific because that feels uncomfortable. It feels scary.
It does.
And so we avoid it.
I've done it myself.
Yeah.
It's the cobbler shoes.
It is. You know, we work in marketing, but then we often deny ourselves the marketing that we should be providing. So
sorry.
You're right. Like everybody struggles with this. So you're not alone in that. You're not alone in that at all. I want to use the example of a client we had for a couple of years, and they had a luxury whiskey bottle bottle of luxury whiskey, I should say, that they're selling. Now, on social media, that was the big push. Their big focus was on social media. And they were frustrated that they weren't getting the results that they needed. So they're like, they put this content out, but then they wouldn't get the sales online. And they didn't accept the fact that when we analyzed the followers, the people on their page, they're not the people who are going to be able to afford a $125 bottle of luxury bourbon, you know? So you got to find your audience where they are. And the only way to do that is to know who they are.
Absolutely. And now going back to, depending on, let's say their social platform, let's say it's Facebook or something. A lot of the people that they're putting things out there are probably friends and family or people they've known.
Yeah.
And so what are people usually going to say? Are you going to buy it? Sure.
Yeah.
Because they love you and care about you. But are they really going to buy it?
No.
So there lies the problem with a lot of social platforms as well. And they're not really their ideal client.
And that's what we said. You have people who are following your Facebook page that support you. That doesn't mean they're your customer.
Exactly.
You know? And oftentimes we look at social media, it's this like face fronting thing of, everything has to be social media. We look at the analytics for most of our clients, and you look at the traffic that comes to their website, social media oftentimes is like 12-15%.
It's just a tactic, right?
Social media, you need to be specific with that. You need to have intentionality, but everything starts with your business with two things, all right? First is a basic question, and that is, what is the problem you're solving?
Yes.
If you're not solving a problem, you don't have a business. You just don't, right? What problem are you solving? Okay, well, I'm going to solve this problem. For who? That's the second question. Who is your customer? So let's get to why this matters, why this is so important. You can't really build a business. You can't really, think of this as a regular relationship, right?
Yep.
Would you go on a date with somebody and you don't know anything about them? Or would you marry somebody? That's a better commitment.
That is.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Tracy. Would you like to marry me?
I would, but not, we
You're
got that on camera.
Brother from that's a whole nother story.
No. But like, Yeah, would you marry a complete stranger? I mean, unless you're on some weird reality TV show where you get paid $1 million to do it. No, you wouldn't. So like, you need to know who this person is. And this exercise that we have, and that's our next day we're going to get is like, what can you do about this? Is going to help you define who your ideal customer is. You need to get specific. Like you need to give them a name. We used to do this when I worked in radio for too many years. We would have our target listener, and we would do this exercise. So like, let's say when I was on News Talk Radio. Well, I'm going to have a 64-year-old male who probably has an income around $120,000. He's got 2 kids, but they're in college. What are his fears? Well, his fears, he gets overwhelmed by and consumed by political news talk and all the Facebook memes and everything going on. And so his fear is that he's losing his control, right? He's losing control of things, and he doesn't have the control he used to have. So then what are his hopes and dreams? Dial into that. Because then I would go on the radio, and let's say his name's Brendan, and I would talk to Brendan. In my head, I'm imagining Brendan.
Yeah, you can visually see him, right?
Yes. Yeah. You have to, and that's what you want to do with your business. Like, when I was on AC, the top 40 kind of station where they're playing, all the new Taylor Swift songs. Which
okay, now I got you. I wasn't sure where we were going.
So much fun for me, but no, they were playing all these songs, and who is that audience? Is it female? I would imagine a person I knew. That helped a lot, but you need to run everything through this like it's a filter. It's
like a lens. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, we were on the same boat there. Lens, filter, filter, lens.
Think of it like it's a big funnel, and then you gotta filter everything that you do through this ideal listener, persona. And if you don't have that filter, everything's going to go through, and then you're going to just have a big mess.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, sometimes I've had 2 different personas depending, and we have clients actually that have a few depending on the industry they're in and what they're selling, per se. So myself, always have one person in mind, and everything I'm doing and writing is that one person. And every decision I make, and even when I'm going out and meeting with people, I'm envisioning that person and having that conversation with them. Because if they don't match it, that they're not going to do business with me.
And you're not going to enjoy doing business with them.
Right. It has to be a win-win situation.
Yeah. And you're right. You can have multiple personas. You can have as many as you want.
Yep.
You're going to have what we call campaigns. So like you have your overall marketing strategy, and that can be an annual or just an ongoing lifetime strategy. And then within that, you have campaigns that you run. And like, here's an example. So let's say one of our clients, they're an automotive repair shop.
Yep.
And they have a primary persona that is XYZ. And then they have other personas for specific campaigns. So let's say we were doing a radio ad run, and we were doing this special for women who are pregnant, and we're going to give you a free oil change.
Okay.
So let's imagine you're this woman, you're pregnant, and you hear on the radio.
No, I don't want to be pregnant again.
I feel like I'm pregnant some days.
Oh, well, maybe.
After the Indian food we had last night, I felt very pregnant and bloated.
He looked that way.
I think I still am today, but no. Okay, so the woman, she's pregnant, she's driving in the car, she hears the radio ad, and the radio ad says, "Are you pregnant?" What? I don't know what the radio ad would say. That would be a weird radio ad. But like,
it might be.
Yeah. We are giving a discount right now, a free oil change. If you are a mom-to-be, pregnant, stop by. We want to help you out, congratulate you on your new baby, and give you a free oil change. That person would think, holy shit, they're speaking to me. Like they just made an ad just for me.
Yep.
That's the connection you want. You want what I call the 1 in a million. It's like, this feels like 1 in a million. Like we've all had that experience with different things where we're like, oh my God, this is like made for me. I'm reading a book right now. And it's the second time I've read it, The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. And the first time I read it, it didn't hit at all. I was like, no, I don't even think I finished it the first time. And I'm reading it now, and it's a totally different perspective. I am the persona that he's targeting with that book. And that's why it aligns so much. And I even told Tracy, I'm like, I feel like
he wrote it for you.
He wrote this book for me, right?
Maybe he did.
And it feels like, oh man, this becomes my Bible, No offense to the real Bible, but like it just resonates with me deeply.
Yes.
It's a connection.
Yes.
And that connection is what you're going for. Once you have that connection, that's called trust.
Yes.
I don't need to know anything else. I'm in.
And that's a big thing with know, like, and trust before people try, buy, and refer. It takes you 7 hours. 7 hours for someone to know, like, and trust you before they'll try, buy, and refer to you.
So it takes time to build that trust. 7 hours, though, not a lot of time compared to a lifetime customer.
Absolutely. So take your time and do it right.
Once your client trusts you, stop selling them. Okay, like we had a client came in and we were doing this big presentation, and about halfway through, he just said, Matt, I trust you. You can stop selling me. And I'm like, oh, I got this whole presentation. I want to go through the whole thing. He's like, no, I trust you. Once people trust you, they fill in the blanks. You don't have to keep selling.
Because he was your ideal client.
Yes, because he was a perfect fit. And we aligned and it worked. And when you find your ideal customer and they build that trust, it's easy. It's just natural. It just feels like this is meant to be, right? That's a bond. That's a connection that's going to give you a lifetime customer. The only way to do that is to know who that customer is, right?
And he was one of those customers.
Yeah.
He fit the persona.
He fit the persona that we were targeting, and that's that connection.
Made it easier.
It makes it so much easier. And like, think about if you're doing any of your marketing here, and you're running the marketing department, you're on the marketing team, and you got to come up with ideas. Okay, what are we going to do now? And you have this this struggle with. It feels like it's generic content, like it's too evergreen. It's good, but I don't know. It falls flat, doesn't seem to connect. That's because you're doing this broad-based approach, and you don't want the shotgun approach. You want like a sniper approach, right? Where it's very specific.
Yep.
Now, that same gas station, the automotive repair, they could also be running an ad that says, hey, if you're a mom with kids, come on by and get a free oil change. And that's not going to resonate with the pregnant mom. Nope. But imagine if you're a mom with kids in the car, it's going to resonate with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I would say they're going to come get the ice cream cones.
They come get the ice cream cones, the free ice cream and free oil change.
Is it ice cream or ice cream cones?
Well, I mean, I would hope there's ice cream in the cones. I don't know if somebody wants to.
I was just checking.
Do you just eat ice cream cones?
Well, you have an ice cream cone, but you just said ice cream.
You eat ice cream cones with no ice cream in them, don't you?
Maybe.
I can visualize.
We're going to talk about that later.
I can visualize that right now. It's actually funny.
It's crunchy.
All right. So let's get to what we can do about it. All right. We've talked about like why it's important, why it's critical. So we have today, this is the ideal customer worksheet where you can create an avatar. And that is, the link is in the show notes here. So it's free, doesn't cost anything, but click on the link, download that worksheet, because all you have to do is fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
Right?
Take the time to do this. This exercise is simple and it's kind of fun, but it's really going to change how you look at your marketing and how you're presenting out to the world.
And I want to give you two things to consider as you're going through this. All right. So the first thing is, I want you to describe the person when you fill out the worksheet as you would describe yourself.
Yes.
Okay. Because this happens a lot. Like, okay, what's their age? I don't know, like 25 to 54. Okay, how much income do they make? Like 60 to 120,000 maybe. How many kids do they have? 2 or 3.
Get specific.
If you imagine if I describe myself that way. Say, hey, Matt, how you doing? Who are you? I'm 25 to 54 years old. I got 2 or 3 kids. I make 60 to 120,000. I mean, what?
There are some people that tell stories about that do change, right?
But it wouldn't make sense, right? So
no.
I want you to describe this person in detail, all right? And here's the thing. Like, this is an exercise that you'll do. It's going to help your business. But right now, it's just an exercise. It's not like it's impacting anything. So it doesn't hurt to get specific. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to get specific. I want you to fill this out in detail. It's a lot of like things like their name, their fears, the income that they make. What are their favorite TV shows? It's like if they love Yellowstone or Knight Rider, and they don't love Hannah Montana, well then don't make Hannah Montana references, I guess. But you fill it out in detail, and you're going to get to know this person. The second thing, and this is really, really important, you're not going to alienate anybody.
No.
That is the fear that's probably going through your head right now. Like, wait, what? If I get specific, what about all these other people?
I've done it before. I've had the fear.
We have a client that they had an incredible opportunity. I'm in the SEO keyword nerd town all the time.
You do nerd out.
They had an incredible opportunity with a particular keyword. It was a niche a market. It was not being served. Like nobody was. There were people seeking this help, and nobody was really providing that help. And this person provided that help.
Oh, wow.
And it was an incredible opportunity, right? And we did that. That was the whole focus as we started. And then about halfway through the process, they hired someone else that had a different opinion, and all of a sudden it shifted. And the reason was, well, we can't just focus on women. We have men who are clients. And then it was now men and women. So now it became just this generic, lukewarm thing. If I go to that website, I don't connect with it, And so you're going to have that fear, well, I'm going to alienate people. And here's the thing, you're not going to alienate. People who want to seek out your business or need your product or service, they are not going to avoid you simply because they're not a 25-year-old female who's, in college and wants to be a boat captain someday. I don't know what that is, but you're still going to attract dudes who are 42 years old. Like, I watch shows on TV. I am not remotely close to the target viewer that they're going for. So if people need your service, your business, if they want to hire you and work with you, they're going to, but you have to resonate deeply with one persona first.
Absolutely. And as you said, it can be yourself. So if you're starting out in business, it can be yourself. But if you're an established business and you have that client that you're like, oh my gosh, if I could clone them, I would clone them. That's your person.
Yeah.
Start looking at that person and kind of identifying, what do you think their income is, and or age. And you know how some people are saying, well, I'm 25 or 29, and just distinguish. Okay, let's see Matt. Matt is
27.
An ideal client. He's
27
the numbers
years old.
up a little bit, but be specific, as he was saying.
Yeah.
And so I have a great story, and it's about Hasbro. You know the Hasbro, right?
Oh, do I?
Okay, and so do you know about My Little Pony?
I do know about My Little Pony, yes.
What do you think the target audience was for the My Little Pony little toy?
Probably a 9-year-old girl.
9-year-old girl, that's absolutely correct. Now, did you know they had a cartoon that actually was complementary to that?
I am aware of the cartoon.
So it had 9-year-old little girls that watched it.
Yeah.
But they also attracted 42-year-old men. And there was like a group that actually supported it, that they loved the messaging that went along with that. So what would you say about that? Because they did pick their target.
Yeah, it's a great example of, like, they had a target audience that was very specific, but they not only didn't alienate anybody, they actually attracted people completely out of that. I mean, that's a little odd to me, the 42-year-old men having like a fan club for My Little Pony, but hey, everybody has their thing.
Everybody has their thing, but that was a really good example.
It is. You're not going to alienate people. That's the point.
That is.
When I work with people, coaching them through their podcast, that's the same process. When I coach people with their business, it's the same process. And it is terrifying because they think, so that's just one person. Like, I need a lot of people. Well, you're not just going to resonate with that one person. There are thousands of that one person. And if thousands of people connect with you deeply, imagine what that can do for your business. So we talked today about the problem, how we got here, confusion. We don't know who we're targeting. We talked about why this is important, why this matters. This is probably the most important thing you will ever do for your business.
100%.
And so you have to put in the work, and that's next. So what can we do about it? Well, what can you do about it is downloading the free avatar form that we got the worksheet there. So download the ideal customer avatar worksheet, fill that out in detail, and just do it to do it. Like, if you're still terrified, if you're not on board, you're like, Matt, nope, I'm not going to do that.
Nope.
Nope, not going to happen. Well, just do it. Just do the exercise because it doesn't hurt. And when you start to do it and you're like, oh, okay, now I see, if you need some help here as a tip, like, look at your current clients. Yeah. Like, what do like 70% of your clients all have in common? What are like the 3 commonalities that can tie them all together? And you'll start to see these trends
and
you'll
patterns.
Say, like, oh wow, like, this is my most successful product line. This is who's buying it. Well, then I'm going to give them more of that, the more of that one thing they want, and that's how you scale. That's how you grow.
That's how you do it. I like it.
Yes.
I like it a lot.
Download the free worksheet. The link is in the show notes. You can also get a free consultation if you want. You can book that. The link is in the show notes as well. For Tracy Winkler, I'm Matt Tompkins, and thanks for joining us here outside the box on the Content Box.